0. And then you would work through the rest of those right here. Good. So let's look at this part. Which line is the steepest and why? We talked about this earlier. So you need to go back and look at the page where we talked about if the slope value was greater than 1 or between 0 and 1, and whether the negative had anything to do with whether or not it was steeper. Okay? And then once you've picked, it says give your example of an equation that makes the graph less steep, and then test it with a graphing calculator, and then give me a sketch of what it would look like. So we've already talked about that. Okay? Then on this page, okay, page number 6, we're still investigating slope, but now they're giving us a graph. Well, remember, anytime they give us a graph, you're going to just count the rise versus the run. But the hardest part is picking out points. So for the vertical and number 4, the horizontal, those you should already know by heart. You shouldn't have to do anything. But when you're trying to count slope on this one and you're looking for points, notice on the x-axis it goes right through the middle of a square. We don't want that. So when you're trying to pick out a point, look for one that goes directly through a corner. So here's one. Looks like it's at 3, -3. And then kind of looks like there's another one here, and there, and there. So you only really need 2, so pick some that go directly through a corner. So let's look at number 3 and kind of do the same thing. For sure, there's one there, and there, and it looks like there, and there. So you can kind of, I know those are not real accurate for you by me saying there, but you can kind of look and see where I found them and then look on your paper and see if you can find them. Okay. Then you're on to page 7. Page 7 is the same stuff. So notice they've given you delta y over delta x. Again, they just want you to use your slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So you would set it up using your formula, and then you can solve for those solutions. A lot of you will ask me if you can use technology and put them in the calculator. I am okay with that, but then I'm going to need you to provide the m and the b. So if instead of doing the formula over and over, you decide to use the m and b, then where it says slope, you have m, but I would also need you to add b. If you choose to just do it the old-fashioned way and use the formula, then you can do that as well, and then I'll just need to see your slope. Okay. All right. Then at the bottom of this page, it says find the slope when we're given 2 points. Again, you can do technology or the formula, but I'll need to see m and b. Then we also have how to find it from the equation. We already talked about that earlier in the packet about how slope is always right next to x. Then 13 and 14, notice I've told you they're special cases. So if you need to, remember you can go back and look at page 5. Page 5 talked about the equation of the line. Here's the equation of a horizontal. So this would be the equation of a vertical. But if you need help, you can ask. Okay? So again, down here at the bottom, those are your special cases, so put refer to page 5. Refer to page 5. And then this very last page, this is where they want you to put it all together. They want you to represent it on a graph with 2 points in a table and as an algebraic function. So if we were going to talk about the rate of change of 2, this is the same thing as saying that m equals 2. So if we are going to write it as a function, then we already know that it's supposed to be y equals mx. So if m is 2, my equation would be y equals 2x. So I've already done it as a function. Then let's do it graphically. So if I were to put this on a graph, we know it's supposed to start at 0, and then I'm supposed to go up 2 over 1, because this is as x goes by 1, y goes by 2. So I would go up 2 and over 1. And then I could do the same thing again, up 2 and then over 1. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, and I could even go the other way, right? 1, 2, 1. So now all I would need to do is connect my dots, and then I would need to pick at least 2 of those points to put in the table. So in the x, this is at 1, and on the y it's at 2, so that's the point 1, 2. And then this one is x is 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, so this would be 2, 4. So there's graphically 2 points in a table and as a function. And then for C and D down here at the bottom, you're back to those special cases again. So this is going to be page 5 again. And that'll help you write a table and a graph and an equation, because it's those special cases. Good. Remember, this is just a small help, so if you need more help, make sure that you come and talk to me.